Hey, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to talk about something called somatic therapy. It's this really fascinating practice that's all about reconnecting with your body's own built-in wisdom for healing. So let's just jump right in with a question. Ever feel like you just live in your head? You know, so many of us try to think our way out of stress or anxiety. But what if the real path to feeling better isn't up in our thoughts at all, but actually in our bodies? Yeah, this was totally Sarah's experience. I mean, after years of traditional therapy, she still felt, well, disconnected. And her journey took a whole new turn when a therapist asked a really simple question. Where do you feel that in your body? Just that one question. It really shows us a different way forward. All right, so let's start here. The foundational idea is that our bodies hold a story, and it's a story written in a language we might not be used to, the language of physical sensation. You see, our life experiences, they literally shape us. They teach our bodies to adapt in these incredibly intelligent ways. Think about it, holding tension to stay alert or restricting your breath to manage a huge wave of feeling. These aren't flaws, not at all. They were actually brilliant adaptations that helped us survive whatever was happening in the past. So you might be wondering, okay, how does this all work? Well, let's meet the director of this whole show, the system in charge of all these patterns, your nervous system. The easiest way to think about your nervous system is like your body's own internal alarm system. Seriously, it is constantly scanning your environment to keep you safe. But here's the catch. Sometimes old memories or past experiences can keep that alarm ringing and ringing and ringing long after any real threat is gone. It's this deep, primal part of our biology, and its only job is to keep us alive. Okay, so let's talk about the different states it can be in. The first one is what we call the safe and social state. This is run by the ventral vagal part of your nervous system. Fancy name, I know. But basically, when you're here, you feel calm, you feel connected, you're ready to engage with the world. Your breath is just easy and natural. You just feel safe in your own skin. But what happens when that internal alarm starts blaring? Well, we can get knocked right into fight or flight. This is a super high energy state, and it's driven by your sympathetic nervous system. You know the feeling, right? Your muscles get tight, your heart starts pounding, your body is literally getting ready to respond to what it thinks is a danger. And then there's a third state. If fighting or fleeing just isn't an option, or maybe the threat feels way too overwhelming, the system has one last resort, the freeze state. This is the dorsal vagal state. It's actually the oldest part of our defense system, and it can feel like numbness or a total sense of disconnection, or just all your energy just vanished. And this is so important, just like Michael discovered. These states, they aren't character flaws. They're not signs that you're broken. They are absolutely brilliant survival responses from a nervous system that is just trying its best to protect you. And wow, that shift in perspective, it changes everything.
Okay, so if we have all of these different states, how do we learn to manage them? Well, this brings us to a really practical and useful concept called the window of capacity.
I want you to think of it like your own personal comfort zone for stress. It's this sweet spot. When you're inside this window, you can handle life. You can think clearly. You can feel your emotions without being totally swept away by them. But what happens when we get pushed outside our window? Well, we either tip up into what's called hyperarousal, that's that buzzy, anxious, fight or flight energy, or we drop down into hypoarousal, which is that foggy, numb, shut-down freeze state. Too much energy or not enough? And this is such a key insight from Melina's story. Knowing about your window isn't a new way to judge yourself for being too sensitive or not handling things well. Nope. It's all about developing self-awareness and finally learning how to listen to and take care of what your nervous system actually needs. All right, so how do we do that? How do we stay inside our window of capacity more often? Well, the absolute key is learning to listen to your body's early warning signal. Yeah, this means we have to learn a whole new language, the language of physical sensation. And honestly, for a lot of us, this can feel like learning a language we never even knew existed. But it's okay. It starts with something really simple, just curious noticing. So instead of getting stuck in your head asking, why am I so anxious? Why is this happening? You start asking a different question. What does this anxiety feel like in my body? Is it a hot pressure in your chest or maybe a cool, tingly feeling in your hands? This is your new somatic vocabulary. Okay,
So now that we know what we're listening for, let's get practical. I'm going to give you a few simple, really foundational practices that can help you find your balance right in the moment.
The first tool is something called grounding, and it is, believe it or not, exactly what it sounds like. It's all about connecting with the physical ground right beneath you to help your nervous system feel steady and safe. You could actually try this with me right now, wherever you are. Just feel your feet on the floor. Maybe press them down a little. Now just notice your breath. You don't even have to change it. See? It's such a simple but incredibly powerful way to send a direct message to your nervous system that says, hey, you're safe, right here, right now.
Another really powerful tool is creating what's called a resource anchor. And all this means is you consciously think of a person or a place or maybe a favorite memory, something that brings a real feeling of safety and calm right into your body.
So here's the thing I really want you to take away. Healing in this way isn't about some huge, dramatic change. Not at all. It's about these small, consistent moments. Moments of listening to your body and then responding with care, with curiosity. Your body isn't your enemy here. It's actually your greatest ally on this journey.
So, let's end with this question. Just for you. Right now, what is your body trying to tell you? Just for a second, take a breath and just listen. The answer, whatever it is, might just be the very beginning of your own somatic journey.